The long migration begins, bringing Tortodrones through the clockworks, but fiendish trouble is afoot. How can you help and what can you hope to get out of it? I'm Ladson Sclay, and this is everything you wanted to know about the March of the Tortodrones update. The Tortodrone is an enemy in the clockworks that stopped appearing a long time ago. More recently, the shells of these creatures have been spotted in various places. Now they're migrating through the clockworks, but fiends are gathering Tortodrone parts and repurposing the machines for their own devious plans. Combat this by hunting for fiends yourself. From now until the 9th of March 2014, slay members of the Fiend Family, namely Devilites, Gorgos, and Trojans, for a chance to find special materials. These materials are called the Fiendish Amuglyph, the Fiendish Glyph, the Fiendish Torglyph, the Fiendish Knockglyph, and the Fiendish Soulglyph, and they all look very similar. Note that these materials don't drop one by one, but rather in groups. There's a special reason for this, which we'll get back to in a second. To make use of these materials, take them to the mysterious alchemy machine, either on the right wing of Haven's Arcade, or the machine in the mission lobby of the March of the Tortodrones daily mission. There's a new recipe for the Fiendish ID card, which is already learned by all players. When you've gotten 5 of each material for yourself, and 3 3-star advanced Orbs of Alchemy, you can craft a Fiendish ID card for yourself. Use this card to enter the staging area. Only 1 card is required for a full party to enter, so spread the love around and invite a full party. Once someone has used the card on the locked circular portal, the mission will start when everyone stands on the summoning site. The mission is called the Call of the Colossi, and after cutting all the grass, because that's important, step on the party button to immediately start the Tortodrone fight. With a good party, the fight will last no more than a couple of minutes, but keep your dukes up. The Tortodrones can deal you a lot of damage very quickly. Their attacks include a ground slam that deals minimal damage and stun, a falling shard attack that inflicts shock, a rapid, high-damage stomping attack, and a lunging punch. It appears that all these attacks simply do enormous amounts of normal damage. For greatest effectiveness, we recommend one of 2 strategies. One is to deal as much damage as possible very quickly, so bring an Acheron, Barbarous Thornblade, or a Warhammer. The other strategy is to deal damage from a long range by using brandish charges, quick handguns, or damage-dealing bombs. It may be a good idea to pack a blade anyways to deal with the fiends that spawn along with the Tortodrone. Beware of the 2 new explosive blocks that have been added to the game. One, a bright white-yellow block, doesn't detonate but drops the explosive gel blobs dropped by some slimes. These will blow up and damage you if you're standing on them, but they can also damage enemies. The other block is violet in color and acts like a vortex bomb, dragging you towards its center. It does no damage, however, so you can use it to your advantage to trap enemies and gun or bomb them down. If you find yourself trapped, use your dash or simply run against the current to pull out. There are also new Fiend spawners. These can be destroyed by a single hit from any attack, but they come back very quickly. They also look really cool, and you can see through the portal to a fiendish site on the other side. Back to the Tortodrones. They behave like normal enemies and can be damaged by sprite abilities and inflicted with status. However, they are highly status resistant and won't stay affected for long. Haze bombs have no effect on them. If you keep it up and possibly burn a spark or 2, the pair of machines will eventually die. When they do, beat on their shells until they break and collect your loot, which will include 4 ancient shell materials. These materials can be used to craft all new shields. Take your ancient shells back to the mysterious alchemy machine to begin crafting. Along with the usual assortment of materials, crowns, and orbs, you'll need 8 shells for a 3-star shield, 10 shells for a 4-star, or 12 for a 5-star. Make the 3-star versions of the shields and then proceed up the crafting tree to the 5-star versions, which are called the Grand Tortoise, Gorgamega, Omega Ward, and Savage Tortoise, and offer high amounts of normal, shadow, elemental, and piercing defense respectively. Each also offers a unique assortment of status resistances to help you out. Surprisingly, the shields also penalize you with a movement speed decrease of low, so you'll have to trade high shield defense for lower walking speed. Lastly, each one of these shields is unique compared to the other shields in the game in its special shield bash animation. The one shown here is from a 3-star shield, but the animation changes as you get closer to 5-star. Unleash the stunning power of the Tortodrone's dash on your enemies. New danger rooms and scenario rooms have been added, though they are probably only temporary as they are all Fiend-themed and relate to the event. They feature the new bomb blocks and Fiend portals, as well as the spike blocks from last winter's Grinchland Assault. Some require nothing to enter and can be identified by the fiendish scrawls on the walls. When this room is completed, 5 random fiendish glyph materials will drop for your party. It's worthy of note that the glyphs are tradable, so make use of teamwork and pool your resources with your teammates. Since only 1 Fiendish ID card is necessary for the whole team to fight, have 1 teammate, or yourself, collect all of the team's Fiendish glyphs and craft the ID card for the group. On the other hand, the ancient shell materials are not tradable. You're on your own for crafting the shields. As usual for the promotion, ancient prize boxes are up for grabs and can be acquired with certain energy purchases. They contain various unique accessories and costumes, all themed around the ancient feel. There are serene helms, serene armors, aggro auras, power pistons, and the usual array of accessories, this time in the ancient style. A few other changes have been added to the game. The achievements UI has a bit of a different look, and the old achievements having to do with depositing minerals and gates were removed for all players who had not acquired them after the Arcade Redux Part 1 update. This means that players who did not complete these achievements can now 100% the game. If the yelling and singing in the streets are any indication, many knights are happy that the radiant fire crystals have returned to the Clockworks and can be found primarily in Stratum 6, in the depths below the final Clockworks terminal. The shield bash can now be used to break blocks. This is a nice feature for bombers so that they don't have to set down a bomb to break through blocks impeding their path. Knight Tylan has been added to the Haven Bazaar to give a guided tour of the vendors and services there, just in case you were one of those people who never read anything in the first missions of the game and don't know what's going on. In theory, it's a way to get from one side of the bazaar to the other, but it's still faster to walk. Lastly, the minimap now shows the walkable path in a darker color. Along with being more informative overall, it also gives a bit of a different aesthetic feel, and I think it's for the better. And there you have it. Amidst a storm of prismatic vaulted bees and Tortodrone migrations comes your March of the Tortodrones update. It's fascinating how this is a promotion that is accessible even by Tier 1 players, even though the Tortodrone is quite the Tier 3 mini-boss. What are we supposed to make of this? You can find out and hear other analytical talk on this update on the next episode of the Arsenal podcast, Talk Radio about Spiral Knights. Link to the website along with all of this update's patch notes will be found in the description box. If you can shell out a little bit of time, stop listening to me drone on and decide for yourself whether this update rocks or not. Oh, the puns! Be sure to comment to us if we've missed anything. Anything that's been forgotten or gets changed will be logged in the description box. Have fun and stay safe out there. Have a good one.